Social media giant TikTok seems to be in hot water as Australia's privacy watchdog launches an inquiry into the Chinese-owned app. The probe will determine whether TikTok is harvesting the data of Australians without their consent. The Labor government says it's concerned, but trusts the Commission to do its job.
We've shown how seriously we take breaches of Australians' privacy, at the same time legislated to give additional powers to the Privacy Commissioner. I expect that the Privacy Commissioner will be using those additional powers in this investigation.
Let's bring in the panel to discuss this. Joining me now is former Liberal MP Nicole Flint and current Liberal MP Garth Hamilton. Welcome to you both. Nicole, TikTok is already on thin ice, but these latest privacy revelations are troubling.
Oh, they're super troubling, Caroline. I thought that you could protect yourself by just making sure you didn't have TikTok on your phone. I've never had it. I never will have it. But now it turns out that even if you don't have TikTok yourself, if you haven't installed it, they can still access your data and use it. I think this is appalling. I think the government needs to act very, very quickly to protect Australians. And we need to see financial implications for the likes of TikTok as well. Big tech, whoever they are, need to learn their lesson. And there are a lot of jurisdictions in Europe, for example, who have big penalties when companies like this do the wrong thing. And that's what we need to start to see in Australia as well.
Look, Nicole, I'm with you. I don't have the app on my phone either, but now I'm concerned people sending me links and I open it to watch a video on TikTok here and there. Could my data be compromised? Garth, is Nicole right? Can the Labor government be doing more to protect us?
Look, as usual, Nicole is right, and I join both of you in not having TikTok on my phone. I'm not cool enough or young enough for that. But look, we're clearly playing catch-up here. And if we want to bring ourselves in line with other nations who do have stronger protections for their people's data online, it's really a question of how much this government wants to stand up to the Chinese government. Now, we've talked a big game about normalising and improving relations here, but let's have a look. We've got what is effectively a Chinese state-owned company aggressively harvesting the data of Australian citizens. I don't think that sounds like a good relationship at all. I think that's a terrible relationship. We know that when it came to the issue of the naval divers, our Prime Minister didn't really have it in him to stand up to China then. I doubt he has it in him to stand up to China on this issue either.
All over a platform where people just do silly dancing videos. But look, let's move on to something else. Victoria's war on gas continues, with details emerging today that households now face an almost $2,400 upfront cost to connect to the gas network from 2025. If you're a business, you could be slugged with an almost $31,000 fee. Nicole, this is all a push to wean the state off gas, but what do you make of this latest proposal?
Oh, look, we've got the Victorian Labor government again interfering in people's lives and telling them what to do. They are taking away people's choice and they are greatly increasing the cost on consumers. You know, this will probably hit lower income households the most because they may not be able to afford to transition away from gas. But what is hugely concerning is the impact it's going to have on the hospitality sector. Commercial kitchens rely on gas. I mean, how on earth are they going to be able to afford to cook a schnitzel, for example? This is absolutely ridiculous. And I think the other thing that a lot of people are becoming aware of now, Caroline, is that getting rid of gas just pushes people onto electricity. Now, Labor want all of that electricity, excuse me, to come from renewables. Now, are renewables really going to save the environment like the Labor Party at the state and federal level claims that they will? We have not properly assessed, I don't think, the full environmental and lifelong impact of decommissioning solar panels, of decommissioning wind farms, and of putting these enormous electricity transmission lines through some prime farming land. I don't think that forcing everyone onto electricity that's supported by solar panels and by wind turbines is actually saving the environment as Labor would have us believe, which is apparently their argument as to why we need to get rid of gas.
And what happens when the sun doesn't shine and the wind doesn't blow? But Nicole, God forbid that our pub schnitzel is going to be affected. Don't know anything but the schnitty. Garth, I can't imagine that residents and business owners will be happy about this. Should the government stay out of their lives?
Not only should they stay out of people's lives, I think I'll always take the opportunity to advance that position. But goodness me, this is what happens when a Labor government gets involved in the economy and starts to make ideological positions. What they've done here is force off an option from the table. We know that markets make their best decisions when they have the most options. Labor's reducing those options. This is a ridiculous position for us to take, pushing gas off the table when Australia has plentiful supplies of it. So, quick prediction, I think anyone who's out there hoping for their energy prices to go down, you're going to be disappointed. Things are going to continue to go up with decisions like these.
I think that's a pretty safe prediction from everything we've seen. Now on to another push by the Albanese government to get more nurses into aged care homes. Now that's been labelled a farce, with the sector spending more on short-term contract workers, threatening their viability. Garth, the aged care sector seems to still be a mess. Providers are relying on expensive agency workers. Now, how can this be fixed?
Well, not easily. Is the answer, particularly in the light of the IR legislation that this government has forced upon small businesses, including the aged care sector across Australia. And it's almost farcical, this situation here. We've got IR legislation that demonises casual workers, but then Labor government has forced the aged care sector to rely upon casual workers. What's going to happen, of course, is that those workers will be moved on to permanent contracts. Prices will go up. In a time of inflation, we will see the costs of aged care continue to go up. And that's having an impact. We've already seen in the last 12 months, 40 facilities being forced to close down. When you increase the cost of something, there is an impact. Someone has to pay that. And unfortunately, the people who are paying it are quite vulnerable. Labor have taken a very bad situation and they've made it much, much worse with heavy-handed and ill-thought-through intervention.